Hello there. I just bought this embossing folder. It's by Tim Holtz. It's a Sizzix one, and it's not quite what I thought it was. I saw it on Amazon advertised, and I just saw this, and I thought it was a regular sized embossing folder. So when I opened the packet, I was really surprised to find that it was A, this size, and B, it included the dies to cut the leaves out. So undaunted, I thought, oh, well, that's fine. I was not quite what I thought it was going to be. I hadn't read the information properly. So I thought, right, I'll cut this out. Now, I have got several die cutting machines, and I've got a Big Shot Plus, which I haven't used for a while. I have a Cuttlebug, 2 Cuttlebugs. I have a Sizzix switch, and I have this Spellbinders Platinum 6. Now, the Spellbinders works in a slightly different way in that you have just one set of cutting plates plus an embossing plate, whereas other things have different thickness, should I say, cutting plates. So for this machine, for embossing, you are supposed to use the base plate and the embossing plate. Now, lots of 3D embossing folders are too thick. They're much thicker than a regular embossing folder. They're much too thick to use this embossing plate. So what I do often with a 3D one is to use the base plate and one cutting plate. So when I tried that with this, I still couldn't get it through the machine. It was far too thick. So it posed a bit of a problem. So what I do in a case like that is to start thin and get thicker. So I have to have my base cutting plate. I need something that is going to be rigid to go the other side of the embossing folder. And I happen to have a metal shim. Where has it gone? Here it is. It's a metal shim, fairly thick. But if you put this through the machine on top, it makes it curl quite a lot. So I thought perhaps I could put this on the bottom. Then my embossing folder with the card in, followed by this on the top. Well, it kind of skidded around and slipped a bit. So then I hunted around and I found this piece of cardboard. This is packaging. It's much thicker than regular card. I don't know, I have no idea what the weight would be. So what I did was this. I put these two together, that one on the bottom, then my card with the embossing folder, and this one on the top. You're not supposed to do this, I'm sure, but this is what I did, and sent it through my machine. There we are. Let's have a look. And there I have cut it out. Now, it may well have worked with just a bunch of card, but the piece of metal is just kind of rigid. Even so, there are the odd places in the corners where it's still kind of attached. So Just going to have to get a pair of scissors and snip there. But the effect of these leaves when they're done is absolutely lovely. The veining is beautiful and it looks very, very dimensional. It's got quite a dip on the inside. So I've managed to cut them out, which was the first problem. The rest wasn't really a problem, it's just a bit of fun, a bit of trying to find out. Recently I bought on Amazon a cheap box, or should I say a box of cheap metallic alcohol inks. 16 in a box, lots of different colours, with a hint of the shimmer. And these ones I made by starting off by painting, just with a paintbrush, some surgical spirit, isopropyl alcohol or something like that, over the leaf itself, and then just dropping bits of these onto it. But I don't know whether it's because they were really cheap or what, I don't know. But the little tiny, I wonder what you call them really, the nozzle things on the end, keep getting blocked. I don't know if it's the mica that's in there that gets stuck in the hole. And I kept on using a pin to try and clear it, but often it wouldn't do it. So I thought, I don't have any what I would call regular alcohol inks that are metallic. So I thought, what can I do to get an effect like that, but using the alcohol inks that I've got. I've got a box full here of my alcohol inks. Bought this box from Ranger recently, put my alcohol inks into it, and this morning I couldn't find what I'd done with the box. So there you go. That's what you get with getting old, I suppose. Anyway, I've got out a few of them here, which I thought were sort of autumn colours-ish. I'm sure there are lots more. That's a ginger one, red pepper, watermelon. That might be a quite a, well, you know, this, I've got a lot here really. What's that one? Oh, that's a pearl mixative. Anyway, we've got enough to go on with there, so I'll just put those out of the way for the minute. Anyway, these are the ones that I did using regular alcohol inks, but with my solution for getting some shimmer into them. So what I did was this. I got a little pot, and into it I put a tiny bit of mica powder. Now you could use perfect pearls or whatever kind of mica you've got, and I just put a tiny bit into this little pot. Then into the pot I put a little of this alcohol, this surgical spirit, just a bit. Can you say a bit of a liquid? You're supposed to say just a drop, aren't you? Let's get the grammar right. Okay, now with this brush, this is actually a Perfect Pearls brush, in fact. I'm just going to give it a stir to mix the mica with the alcohol. And then I'm just going to paint the leaf. There we go. Now this evaporates actually quite quickly. And now all I'm going to do is to pop on a few drops of the regular alcohol ink. And rather than being just alcohol inks, it's got that touch of shimmer in there. Ginger, this is the one I just got out. Let's have a look at ginger. I'll put a tiny bit of green because I think often a bit of green makes it look more leaf-like, really. Now I can just pick this up with a pair of tweezers of some description. Here we are. And just let that ink run around a bit. There we go. Let the colours mix. So, isn't that pretty? This one I'm going to start off by just dipping into this stuff that's here already, just to mop it up. I'll just dab over it. This one is very mica-y, if there's such a word as mica-y. Now I can put some more colour on. It does make a really nice effect. I hadn't actually thought of doing this before, but I do like. This one always comes out. It's got no mica in, so I suppose there's nothing to make it block the nozzle, as it were. There we are. That should be plenty. Now just pick it up. Let it have a little. That's a pretty one. Look, isn't that nice? And that hint of mica is absolutely lovely. Let's put those out of the way. Now, just wipe up the mess. If you leave it on for a while, it will kind of stick, but a little bit of alcohol will just get it off easily. I'm going to put those onto this bit of card, I think, just to put them somewhere to dry off for a moment while I clean up. Okay, there we go. There we are. Now, once I've got my leaves, it's kind of what to do with them. And for autumn leaves, I really rather like Hessian. I have got various grades of Hessian. Here's a frame or pair of dies I taped together to make a frame, which gives me the frame there and the inner piece here. And whenever I cut out Hessian, I always put some double-sided sheet on the back before cutting, so that actually holds the fibres together. The weave is so loose that it frays very, very easily. So that will just keep it together. On this one, I have put some foam tape around the edge, because what I was thinking I could do would be to put them kind of back together, but give it a little dimension by having the foam tape on the bit at the outside. The other thing I thought I could try is to use this set of 3 squares, which is from a Sizzix die, and just cut 3 of those out so that I have 3 little squares as a backdrop for my leaves. So let me just cut those out now. And because the Hessian is reasonably thick to get through, I'm going to use my shim that I used to help me with the embossing folder to ensure that it gets sufficient pressure to cut right through both the Hessian, the burlap, and the double-sided sheet that I put on there as well. There we go. Let's come back again. Right. We'll keep going with those, the cheap ones, to see if I can sort out the fact that it keeps on getting blocked. Now it looks like there's a little bit of help in the... No, it's come out. That's fine. Let's try the next. That one's not quite. I don't... Yeah, no, perhaps it is. That one's okay. See, the middle one didn't quite get the pressure that the ones at the sides got, but I think we're okay. There we go. So the double-sided sheet is this kind of stuff. So you just take off one layer, put it onto the material, paper, whatever it happens to be, cut it out, and then in the ordinary way you'd peel off the other side to adhere it to your card. But in this case, I'm going to leave it on as a means of keeping that bit of hessian together. So the card I was thinking of today would be something like this, with 3 little squares like this, and a couple of leaves maybe. This one looks quite nice with that one, like that. I could either put that onto foam tape or just stick it directly to the card. Maybe a little sentiment just here. The square one I thought I might do onto a square base. Here's this is nearly 150 by 150 mils square, like this. And when I was cutting out the first ones of these, when I was trying all these different sandwiches to try and see what I could get to cut this thing out, the card had slipped out and part of it was just off the edge. So I thought, well, it doesn't matter, I'll carry on anyway, because I could use that like this. Do you see? And just have it as part of a leaf. I don't know which orientation we want it in. Quite like it going down, I think. Yeah, I think I quite like it going down. So those are my ideas. This is short and sweet. I will make up these cards by just popping them onto their bases and finishing them off. But I just thought that the couple of things that I discovered, putting a bit of mica with some alcohol to make your alcohol inks metallic, and B, sorting out what seems like an impossible thing if you haven't got any cutting plates for your machine to cut out a really fat 3D embossing folder. So, hope it helped, and thanks for watching.